Have you ever considered that the unspoken agreement we have with life, that our family will be our safety net, has an expiration date? It's one of the toughest realizations that creeps in as we age, that the web of support you've counted on from your children, your siblings, starts to fray, not out of malice, but because life pulls everyone in different directions. Your kids are raising their own families. Your siblings are facing their own battles with health. Your circle of friends gets smaller. And in the quiet moments, a heavy question lands. If I fell, who would be there to catch me? That thought can feel like a punch to the gut if you aren't prepared. But here is the profound truth: you can prepare. You can architect a life in your 70s, 80s, and beyond that is so fundamentally sound, you feel secure and whole, regardless of who is physically present. This isn't a lesson in bitterness, it's a masterclass in wisdom. Because the most dependable support, the kind that truly holds you up when you're feeling unsteady, often isn't found in other people. It's built from 5 internal pillars that most of us ignore until the ground starts shaking. These 5 pillars are the bedrock of a dignified, self-reliant life after 70. They are the silent, unwavering forms of strength that never get too busy, never move away, and never make you feel like you're asking for too much. Stay with me, because understanding this can shift your entire perspective on aging from one of fear to one of incredible personal power. Let's begin. Number 1, your physical autonomy. In your 70s, the capacity to move your own body through your own space on your own terms is the ultimate form of liberty. It goes far beyond just walking. It is your sovereignty. It is your self-respect. And in a practical sense, it is the most crucial support system that is entirely your own. Physical autonomy is being able to rise from a chair without a second thought. It's the ability to prepare a simple meal, to bend down and tie your own shoes, or to step outside to feel the sun on your face whenever you wish, without needing to schedule assistance. That is control. That is agency over your own existence. More than that, it provides an emotional stability that is rarely discussed because it disarms the deep-seated fear of helplessness. When you trust your body, you worry less about becoming a burden. Now, let's be clear. Maintaining autonomy after 70 isn't about running a 10K or lifting heavy weights. It's about preserving function, keeping your hips flexible, your core stable enough to prevent a fall, and your legs strong enough to carry you with confidence. Simple, consistent actions like doing chair squats, while the kettlebells, walking to the end of the driveway and back, or practicing balancing on one foot can be revolutionary, and the window to begin is always open. Many assume that physical decline is a one-way street. It isn't. Your body is an incredible adapter. It responds to demand, not to a date on the calendar. Your daily movements send a louder message to your cells than your age does. Psychologically, this autonomy is a direct antidote to the shrinking world that many older adults experience. When the body becomes a prison, the mind often follows. You start to decline invitations. You stop planning for the future. You say no to opportunities not out of disinterest, but out of a fear of physical failure. That is not aging, that is surrendering. And it's a choice, not a destiny. Consider Margaret, a 79-year-old woman I know. After a hip scare, she started a simple, daily 10-minute routine of seated yoga. Her goal wasn't to become a yogi. It was to be able to tend to her small balcony garden. She told me, feeling the soil on my hands each morning without having to ask my son for help, that's my freedom. Her mobility isn't what it was at 50, but it belongs to her and it brings her profound peace. She still takes the bus to the library, still bakes her own bread, and still manages the 2 steps into her apartment with a sense of accomplishment, not because life got easier, but because she decided to remain a participant in it. The truth is, every small investment you make in your body pays you back with a currency more valuable than money: independence. Family may not always be available to drive you to the store or help you up if you stumble. But with strong legs and steady balance, you can postpone that need for years, even decades. And that is a support that builds a deep, unshakable confidence from the inside out. So, if you feel that your body is getting the best of you, that's just a signal, not a verdict. Start right where you are, just move. Do one more stretch than you did yesterday. Walk to the next room and back. Every tiny motion is a deposit into the bank of your own resilience, a foundation that you can stand on, no matter who stands beside you. Number 2, financial clarity. Once you're in your 70s, true wealth isn't a large bank account. It's a clear understanding of your resources. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your needs are met, your affairs are in order, and you can navigate your life without constant financial worry. Financial clarity is one of the most powerful supports imaginable, and it's almost entirely within your control. You see, financial complexity is a thief of peace. Trying to manage multiple accounts, tracking confusing investments, or being haunted by outstanding debts. This doesn't just create mental clutter, it erodes your sense of security. And in your later years, security is not a luxury, it's a basic need, because no amount of love from your family can untangle a chaotic financial situation. But a simple, clear plan can act as a steadying hand, guiding you through uncertainty with grace. And here is what people often get wrong. Simplifying your finances isn't about restriction, it's about empowerment. It's designing a lifestyle that brings you contentment, not one that impresses others. It's the freedom to spend on what matters without guilt or fear. It's like tidying a messy room. Once everything has its place, your mind can finally relax. Psychologically, financial clarity diffuses the ticking bomb of life anxiety, the unknown. Countless older adults lose sleep over questions like, what if my savings run out? Or, how will I afford help if I need it? This fear is often more corrosive than any physical ailment. But when you have a clear picture of your income and expenses, when your spending is deliberate, and when your life fits comfortably within your means, you breathe easier. You feel more capable, more in command. Let me tell you about Arthur, a retired schoolteacher in his late 70s. After his wife passed, he felt overwhelmed by paperwork. So he took one weekend and created what he called his napkin plan. He automated his core bills to one account, switched to a single credit card he pays off monthly, and set up a simple spreadsheet. He told me, my rule is, if I can't explain my entire financial picture on the back of a napkin, it's too complicated. He didn't become a financial genius. He became a master of his own life. That clarity gave him back his confidence. What Arthur achieved was not magic. It was a decision, a deliberate choice to trade complexity for peace, so he could focus on living a rich life, not just managing a rich portfolio. And here's the most empowering aspect. When your finances are clear, you are less dependent on others for guidance. You don't need to call your daughter to understand a bill. You don't need to feel embarrassed asking for help. You are the one who understands. You are in charge. So, if money feels like a source of stress right now, just pause. You don't need to be wealthy, you just need to be clear. Consolidate your accounts. Question every subscription. Create a simple budget. Make it so straightforward that you could explain it to a child, because ultimately, security isn't found in a number. It's found in knowing. If you're still here with me and gaining value from this, please type the number 2 in the comments to let me know. And if you're not yet subscribed, I encourage you to do so and hit the notification bell. Your engagement helps us create more content designed to empower and support you. Now, let's continue. Number 3, the anchor of daily routine. After 70, your most reliable ally isn't a person, it's a pattern. It's your daily health routine. I'm not referring to aggressive gym sessions or fad diets. I'm talking about the small, consistent, almost sacred actions you take every single day to maintain the vessel of your life, your body and mind. This is the essence of self-reliance, and it builds an independence that is truly profound. Because when your days have a rhythm, your life feels stable, even when the world outside does not. See, too many people treat their health like a firefighter, only rushing in when there's an emergency. But that's a stressful, reactive way to live. A consistent routine makes you the architect, not the firefighter. You are proactively laying the foundation for your well-being. When you hydrate first thing in the morning, do your 5 minutes of stretches, take your medication at the same time, and choose foods that energize you, you are engaging in a daily act of self-respect. And that rhythm becomes a powerful current that carries you through days when you feel tired or unmotivated. There's a secret strength in routine, especially as we age. Psychologically, it's a powerful tool against anxiety because it eliminates the burden of choice. You don't wake up and wonder, what should I do for my health today? The path is already laid. That predictability creates a sense of order and control, which in turn builds confidence. And that confidence is what prevents you from feeling like a liability to others. It's a quiet declaration that says, I am still an active participant in my own life. I show up for myself. I think of Maria, an 82-year-old I know who lives alone. Her morning trio, as she calls it, is non-negotiable: a large glass of water, 10 minutes of listening to a favorite piece of music while gently moving her joints, and then a walk to her mailbox and back, no matter the weather. She once explained, it's not about the exercise. It's my daily promise to myself that I'm worth taking care of. That perspective is everything. Maria's routine isn't about performance. It's about presence. It's about reinforcing her identity as someone who is capable and responsible for her own wellness. And here's a crucial point. A good routine reduces your need for external intervention. You're less prone to accidents, less likely to miss medication, and less likely to feel adrift in the unstructured hours of the day. It's like having a handrail to hold on to. Even if you feel wobbly, you know the support is there because you built it yourself. That is true support, and it is entirely self-generated. Of course, life is not rigid. Some days your arthritis will flare up or you'll feel exhausted. That's fine. The routine is a map, not a cage. The goal isn't perfection, it's persistence. Maybe the walk is just around the living room. Maybe the stretches are just a few deep breaths. These small acts, when compounded daily, weave a safety net of well-being that holds you, supports you, and allows you to move through your years with agency and grace. So, if your habits have drifted, just begin again. Choose one small, repeatable action. Because every time you keep that appointment with yourself, you are proving you are your own most faithful caregiver. And that is a form of support that can never be taken from you. Number 4, the unbreakable inner core. Of all the supports you can build, none becomes more priceless with age than emotional resilience. It's more valuable than money, and in some ways, even more critical than physical health. Because with a strong emotional core, you can navigate the inevitable storms of life: the loneliness, the grief, the physical limitations, and yes, the ways family can sometimes fall short. Emotional resilience is the ability to feel sorrow without letting it become your identity, and to face change without letting it shatter your spirit. By your 70s, you've likely collected scars and losses: the passing of a partner, the geographic distance of children, the slow betrayal of your own body. The common mistake is to believe emotional strength means feeling nothing. It's the opposite. Resilience is the capacity to feel everything: the pain, the joy, the anger, and not be capsized by the wave. It's allowing emotions to be visitors that pass through, not squatters that take over. This power doesn't come from pretending you're okay. It comes from the quiet, internal whisper: this is hard, but I am capable of holding it. And the reality is, each time you successfully navigate a difficult feeling without outsourcing your comfort, you build evidence for your own strength. You become less fearful of the next challenge. That is freedom. You stop depending on a phone call or a visit to regulate your own emotional state. You learn to be your own anchor. I remember talking to David, a 79-year-old widower. He told me his secret to surviving the quiet evenings was a simple practice. Before bed, he writes down one thing he's grateful for and one thing that felt heavy that day. I give the good and the bad their own space on the page, he said. It helps me see that my life is big enough for both. That small ritual is his nightly practice of resilience. He honors his pain, but he doesn't let it eclipse his gratitude. You see, resilience isn't just for major tragedies. It's for the daily paper cuts of aging. The friend who forgets to call back. The realization that you can no longer read the fine print. If every setback sends you into a spiral, life becomes a minefield of potential pain. But with emotional fortitude, you gain a different kind of freedom. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances or other people's actions. You are steady because the source of your stability is internal. Psychologically, practicing resilience literally changes your brain. It strengthens the pathways that allow for calm, measured responses instead of panicked reactions. It builds a deep-seated trust in your ability to handle whatever comes next. And in later life, when the only certainty is uncertainty, this is perhaps the greatest gift you can cultivate for yourself. If you're wondering where to start, it begins with self-compassion. Speak to yourself as you would a dear friend. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment, and gently remind yourself of all the storms you have already weathered. You are here today not by accident, but because of a strength you already possess. So yes, the people in your life may change, and your health will shift. But if your emotional core is solid, you will remain. You will stand with clarity and courage, rooted in the profound understanding that you, by yourself, are enough. If you're still watching and these ideas resonate, please comment with the number 4 below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and activate notifications. Your presence here fuels our mission to create meaningful content. Let's move to our final point. Number 5, your true north. There is a quiet, profound power in knowing what you stand for, especially after 70. When the world feels chaotic, when roles you once held have fallen away, and when the path ahead is unclear, a personal code of values becomes your internal compass. It defines who you are at your core, what truly matters to you, and how you choose to act, independent of anyone else's approval. So many older adults feel adrift because their identity was tied to external roles. The dedicated employee, the caring parent, the reliable spouse. When those roles diminish, a void can appear. A personal code fills that void from the inside out. It's your declaration. This is what I believe, and this is how I will live, whether anyone is watching or not. A personal code can be built on simple tenets like integrity, curiosity, generosity, or self-respect. These values aren't designed to impress anyone. They are for you. And that is why they are so powerful. When you operate from your own value system, your need for external validation shrinks. You are less shaken by criticism and less dependent on praise because your sense of self-worth is generated internally. I once met an 82-year-old woman named Clara. Her life was guided by 3 words: curiosity, generosity, and integrity. She told me every morning she asks, "How can I live these 3 words today?" Some days, curiosity meant reading about a country she'd never visit. Generosity was leaving a kind comment on a YouTube video. Integrity was admitting she'd made a mistake. Her life wasn't grand, but it was incredibly solid. She was anchored. Why? Because she knew her why. Her code was her foundation. Psychologically, a personal code is a powerful antidote to regret. It simplifies decision-making. You're not left wondering if you did the right thing. You know what the right thing is for you. It also provides immense stability. When life gets turbulent, and it will, you don't get tossed around by panic. You turn inward and ask, what does my code demand of me here? And that provides a clear path forward. In fact, research on aging well consistently shows that seniors with a strong sense of purpose and a consistent value system have greater life satisfaction and cognitive resilience. The reason is simple: clarity creates calm. When your life is guided by an unwavering inner principle, it keeps you grounded. But here is the most liberating part: your values are yours alone. No committee needs to approve them. You don't have to justify them. You simply have to honor them. That is their power. Whether your code is to greet each day with gratitude, to never speak ill of others, to learn one new thing every week, or to always choose kindness, Whatever it is that makes your spirit feel aligned, hold it close. Let it be your guide. Because when you can look at your reflection at 75 or 85 and know that you lived a life true to your own principles, that is the ultimate success. That is profound self-respect. And no one, not your family, not society, not the passage of time, can ever diminish that. It is the one form of support that is truly permanent, because it is woven into the fabric of who you are. And in the end, isn't that what this is all about? Not being approved of by others, but being at peace with yourself. A personal code is the quietest, strongest, and most faithful support you will ever have. Final thoughts. As we get older, we often take stock of who is truly in our corner, especially when the world gets quiet. And the answer is often surprising. The dependable presence of family, friends, even our own physical strength, can become less of a guarantee over time. But this does not leave us adrift in an empty sea. In fact, it's often in these later years that we discover the most formidable support system we've ever had was never a person or a place. It was a potential within us, waiting to be activated. Perhaps it's the quiet strength found in a daily routine, the steady rhythm that reassures your body and mind that you are safe and grounded in a predictable world. Or maybe it's the personal satisfaction of small, meaningful pursuits, the hobbies and interests that fill your hours with purpose, with or without an audience. These aren't just ways to pass the time. They are vital connections to who we are beneath all the roles we've played. Then there is the undeniable power of physical self-care. The simple, daily act of strengthening your legs or choosing a nourishing meal is a declaration of independence. It's a hard truth, but one that gives us immense control over the quality of our aging journey. Caring for your body isn't about looking younger, it's about living wiser. We also touched on the importance of a vibrant mind, staying curious, learning new things, and remaining engaged with the flow of life. When your mind continues to stretch and grow, so does your sense of your own capacity and resilience. You don't become obsolete, you become experienced. You become interesting even to yourself. And finally, and perhaps most profoundly, we explored the idea of a personal code, a set of internal values that act as your North Star, guiding your actions and giving you a sense of unwavering integrity, no matter what storms rage around you. This is your anchor. This is your legacy to yourself. This is what allows you to live with dignity and meet your end with peace. So, what is the ultimate lesson here? It's that the most resilient support system after 70 is not something you find, but something you build. It is a mindset, a series of practices, and a set of beliefs that create an unshakable internal foundation. It is the process of becoming your own home. Because when you are truly at home within yourself, you are never truly alone. And that kind of inner strength is more than just a comfort. It is the ultimate liberation. Now, I have a gentle invitation for you. After this video, take just a quiet moment. Ask yourself, which of these 5 pillars is already strong in my life, and which one could use a little attention, starting today? Don't feel overwhelmed. Meaningful change always starts with one small, private commitment. Thank you for spending this time with us. We would be honored to hear your reflections. Please leave a comment below sharing one insight that stood out to you and how you might apply it. Your experiences are valuable to this community, so please don't hesitate to share. Reading your thoughts is a great source of encouragement for us. If this video was helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who might benefit. Your support enables us to continue creating content that aims to inform and inspire. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.